Keeping ageing models competitive is a constant challenge for car companies, and such is the case with the Cupra Ateca medium SUV. Not only does it have opposition from rival car companies, it's also going to have increased competition in its own showrooms in 2025 when the new Terramar and updated Formentor arrive in Australia. So what's Cupra's solution? It's called the Ateca V, and to help you understand it, here are 5 things you need to know. Cupra is the performance-focused spin-off of another Volkswagen-owned Spanish brand called SEAT. The Ateca is Cupra's oldest model, and it's expected to be on sale in Australia only until the end of 2025. It'll probably retire sometime soon after that. In Australia, Ateca's been part of the lineup since the brand launched in 2022, but only as the VZX Hottie. The Ateca V cools the jets on performance and drops the price by more than $10,000. In the new year, the price will be reviewed and may go up. One of the most significant areas of differences between the Ateca V and the Ateca VZX is in the engine bay. Sure, the V retains a 2-litre turbo petrol 4-cylinder engine, but it's significantly down on power and torque compared to the VZX. Roll further down the drivetrain and you'll still find a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission and all-wheel drive. The V's detuned engine means the 0 to 100 km/h dash is completed in a relaxed 7.2 seconds, rather than the VZX's more frenetic 4.9 seconds. The flip side is better claimed fuel consumption on cheaper 95 RON fuel than the 98 RON required by the VZX. And what about equipment changes? Well, the good news here is the V's not been decontented that much. The stereo system isn't as sexy, the steering wheel's a bit more basic, the 360 camera's been traded in for a reversing camera, and blue leather trim's been swapped out for black. But lots more has been retained, including 19-inch alloys, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and some high-end safety gear. Okay, let's talk about the Ateca V's interior. First thing to understand is this is a medium SUV at the compact end of the sizing scale. It's more like a Mazda CX-5 than a Kia Sportage, but because it's got this squared off body, it does release significant interior space. Your gangly teenagers are gonna fit in the back seat. Up front, there's plentiful steering and seat adjustments, so the driver should get comfortable, and the tech is kind of modern without being cutting edge. Now, if you prefer operating buttons and dials to constantly jabbing at a touchscreen, that's good news. We're going to wrap up our first impressions of the Ateca V with some time behind this simpler steering wheel. As well as the lower engine outputs, Cupra's also replaced the VZX's adaptive suspension with a passive sports suspension package in the Ateca V, and downgraded from a performance brake package to a standard brake setup. Now, as downbeat as that might sound, the reality is the Ateca V is still a terrific driver's SUV. The engine's well known and widely used in the Volkswagen Group, and it's a seamless spinner. The suspension setup produces excellent body control in corners, even rough ones, and the steering is direct. If there are downsides, it's the occasionally laggy, I should say, dual clutch transmission. When you're just starting off, it's occasional, but it is there, and it seems to be a trait of this type of transmission. And the ride is a bit sharp, not super aggressive, but noticeable. But the upside is, this is the sort of car you can enjoy taking the kids to school in. You can enjoy the school run because you know at some stage you're also going to get to drive it on a country road. It's that sort of car. So that's the Cupra Ateca V, a Spanish medium SUV with more than a dash of spirit. Look, as run-out specials go, it's a tempting one. The price and equipment package is pretty good, and it drives with more than a hint of zest. For others, maybe it's just a bit too focused and sporty. So even as the Cupra Ateca closes on retirement, the V helps it retain competitiveness, even against some medium SUV opposition very close to home in Cupra's own showrooms.